Sorry to interrupt you over there. Look at your...
Yeah, it's like a daily routine out there. A lot of guys get extra work at the practice and stuff.
But you're always over there, is that? I mean, is that something you've always done since high school, just kind of being that guy who stays over?
When they said I have a chance to return punts, I took it really serious. I could do everything. So this has helped me to, I guess, get more comfortable back there and things such as that. So it's something I continue to do every day.
What do you do? Who do you work with?
Equipment guys always got my back. You know, some of my favorite people in the building. Love those guys. Shout out to them. They stay out here with me for, you know, sometimes long periods of time when guys are trying to get out. So I appreciate them a lot.
So what came first, watching film on punt returns and then asking if you could try it out, or trying it out and then watching film?
Probably a little bit of both. One of my friends in high school, he plays down at Virginia. We were talking about it at one time, and I was like, yeah, man, I feel like I really want to do punts. He was like, go out there and do it. Had a couple guys in the building, a couple guys in the locker room thought I should do it, so took that chance. I feel like I could help us out back there, things such as that. So opportunities to make plays.
James was talking about you in the recruiting process and how focused you were and how well prepared you were for college. Looking back now as a sophomore, how did you think the prep prepared you for coming to Penn State academically and athletically?
I think it gave me a great foundation. Whenever I'm having trouble with things, whether it's school or football, I kind of know where to look. I know how to analyze, you know, things that I'm doing right when I'm on my best, and the things that I'm doing wrong, you know, that cause me to slip at times. So it gave me a great foundation, not only as an athlete and a student, but as a person. So I'm forever grateful for all those guys at that school.
Who's your friend at Virginia?
Alameda Skiers.
John, why did you request to ask film during a barbecue here when everyone's, you know, having fun on the field and you're up watching film?
Because for me, the recruiting process wasn't so much about you know, people blowing your head up, telling you how great you are. I wanted to know the school that was going to help me out the most to become a great player, great person, a great student. I was more into the facts. You know, they do everything they're telling you is very, very true, especially here at Penn State. But I wanted to see what they were doing on the field. You know, I didn't want to hear just that they were playing press coverage in this. I wanted to see it on the field. I wanted to see how many snaps they were actually playing it. Things such as that, how everybody breaks down film in the film room. I was really into the football part of the recruiting, not necessarily everything else that goes along with it.
Who stood out to you on film at that time? Do you remember any players in particular?
Probably Adrian Amos, Jordan Lucas, all those guys. I watched primarily the secondary, so those were guys that really stood out to me at that time.
What sort of impact has Coach Smith had on you?
One thing I would definitely say we were talking about today is I never always know, you know, what they're thinking. You know, it makes you keep driving forward and things such as that. You know, he's always on us about the small things. He's really on us about the details, you know, really challenging guys and things such as that. You know, just from a mental part, again, Coach Smith is great.
What are some of the details that you can share with us? That we would
some
understand?
Some of them are kind of like our little things that give us an edge.
Okay.
But I'll just say, I guess if sometimes, you know, our eye discipline and things such as that, that's just one of the things. There's a lot of things, but you know, you guys usually see that on Saturdays and things such as that.
John, where's this thirst for knowledge come from? Because it seems like you want to know everything. Where's that come from?
I feel like if you want to be great at something, you want to learn everything you possibly can. You look at guys just even outside of sports, you know, some of the greatest minds in general. They like to learn everything. They like to learn from everybody. You know, whether it's actually, you know, all things around you in life aren't necessarily going to do it specifically for football, but they can be applied to football. So I try to learn just as much as I possibly can, because I feel like in some way it can help me in some field, whether it's in football, off the field. I feel like having knowledge is key, like they always say. So.
John, beyond having a good player on the other side of the field with Grant Haley coming back, what else does he bring, you know, for you guys in the DB group, especially considering Christian and Amani's stats?
Grant's really aggressive, especially in the boundary. When he's playing to the boundary, he's really great playing around. He's really good in coverage, fast. Recovery speed is really great. Brings experience also. I think Grant brings a lot of great things, you know, to the opposite side when he's in there. So.
Going back to your thirst for knowledge, I guess, has that made you like a resource for your teammates, whether it be like on film, like if they want you to watch film with them, help them, or if it's like computers, if they're like, I have a virus.
I think so. But I think there's a lot of guys like that in our locker room that don't get talked about a lot. You know, like they always say, Malik's a guy. You know, he knows so much. And if you ever were to watch us out there today on practice, Malik's calling out most of the routes, most of the guys that are pulling in the run game, which a lot of guys, especially in the secondary, don't notice. There's a lot of guys like that in our building. I think everybody in the building and coaches, players, staff, everybody's always looking for ways they can get better. I think that this is one of the reasons I came here, because of that great environment and such as that. So.
Can you take us through those chaos periods that Franklin ran in practice today? How did those go? What were some stories from that?
Chaos period is early. Early in practice, you get done stretching, things such as that. You're getting your blood flow. Now it's like, as soon as you get done stretching, boom, we're right into it. It's literally like simulating that, coming out that first quarter. You're getting out of warm-ups. They just did kickoff and things such as that. Because we run through a little bit of special teams before. It's boom, it's fast-paced, and the offense is fresh. Huddle team is fresh. They're running tempo, so it's gonna be quick, it's gonna be fast. So it speeds your processing up. You got to get warmed up fast. So I think it's been a good thing for us.
John, how has a different corner opposite you every week affected your preparation? You said Grant's good playing the boundaries, you're the field corner a lot of weeks, but most of the season you haven't had Monty there. So has that affected your prep as far as playing the boundary or field side?
No,
or even going to the slot and sub packages?
No, I have, regardless of who we put on the field, I have great confidence in all those guys. Amani going into, so you spoke of Amani going into the season. I knew Amani was going to be able to make the plays and things like that. He had, I was telling people since winter workouts, I was like, yo, Amani's going to show some flashes. I was like, Amani's going to make some plays. Amani goes to camp, he does that. Chris goes to camp, he does that. Jordan Smith goes to camp. When guys step in, I have 100% confidence. Those are my brothers off the field. I believe in all those guys. So whenever somebody steps in, I trust them. So I don't think it affects anyone at all, because they're going to pick up where the other guy left off. So.
DeAndre Tompkins said that you were a guy who helped him out this summer. How did you? Was it film mostly, or you guys just working out?
Me and Dre were out here sometimes 11 o'clock at night. When you're in the off season, you do a lot of time. You're working out and things. But when you come out, a lot of football players tell you come out here at night and things like that. Like, you can almost simulate a game out here, and we would do things such as that. We go through footwork, just visualizing, making plays and things like that. And we were always putting the work in. Me and him are always together watching film, things such as that. He's able to pick up on things that receivers do. I'm able to pick up on things that DBs do. We'll watch opposite teams and things such as that. Like going into the pick game, we knew what some of their DBs were going to do, and he's able to capitalize on them, because naturally, he's able to switch up his styles of play at the line, his tempos, his speed, and his routes, and that's a killer sometimes for DBs.
John, Jevin Stone said not too long ago that you're the guy who requests the most film. So, got to ask, how many hours do you think you watch on an average day or an average week?
I don't really know. I didn't really know how many hours I watched until he said something last year. I don't really have, I don't actually have cable hooked up in my room since I've been up here. So it's kind of like film, football, and then I guess some Netflix or maybe HBO show, but there's not really much ESPN on in my room, because I just have a TV, a computer monitor. So, you don't have much time to do other stuff.
Well, for example, how much did you watch today so far? I know there's still the night ahead, but how much so far into that?
I'm not too sure, because I'll end up watching a lot tonight too. I don't know. I don't really put an hour necessarily in my film, because you can watch a lot of hours of film and still not get anything from it. I try to find things, little tendencies and stuff. So I'm not necessarily going in to watch film I'm gonna watch 100 hours of film, but I need to go in the film, I need to learn this tendency. I need to know when they're going to pass. I need to know when they're going to do this route. And however long that takes is, however long I watch the film. So.
John, what's an example of you watching film? You saw a receiver going under the route, and you're like, I noticed this on film. I think he's going to make this move here. We'll make a play on the ball because of it. Is there a specific example that you're seeing?
Not really, because I try to, when I'm watching, you start to just notice, when we go certain formations and stuff like that, we'll tip certain things, certain tendencies. A lot of times they'll have two routes for, saying a 3-by-1 set or something like that. You'll have certain things that the backs to you, backs away from you, things such as that. You'll be expecting certain routes. It's kind of hard to point out. So.
John, Jevin said, sorry, I already asked a couple of questions.
Through its first 4 games, Ireland's played in front of an average crowd of about 34,000 people. Saturday will probably be a little larger than that. Outside of the noise, what is it about the fans and playing in Beaver Stadium that really energizes the team? How big an impact do you have Saturday night, and Maryland really hasn't close to seeing that?
I think it has a huge impact, because when you hear the stadium rocking, if you just made a mistake, a fumble on the previous drive, or you're going in for that, that fourth down play, trying to convert on fourth down. The stadium's rocking. If one person's out of position on the offense, it's really hard to adjust that person when you really can't communicate verbally out there. So I think the fans, especially in Beaver Stadium, 100,000 people, it plays a major factor, and especially like those fourth downs, those third downs, where there's critical downs, so if there's one slip up on offense, it's really hard for them to make up for it. So.